Hi there. Today we're going to talk about the importance of accepting negative affect into your life when life doesn't feel good. Stay with me. Hi there, Dr. Carmen McGuinness back with you. So this week we're going to talk about when things aren't going well and we're not feeling wonderful and we get a bad feeling, what we psychologists call negative affect. And the willingness to be able to accept negative affect into our lives as part of helping us decide where to go, what to do, and to learn and to grow and to change. So first I want to talk about what negative affect might be, what words we might associate with it. The first one is, and the most striking, is probably sadness. And unfortunately in our society we tend to think of sadness when it's extreme. We tend to think of it as depression. But what I think of it as instead is just a big warning sign that something isn't right. And I'm not a big proponent of medication. I think those of you that have been on my channel for a while probably know that or have figured it out. I do understand that there is a time and a place for medication, but in general I think it's important to be able to accept that sadness and ask ourselves what it means. So the word sadness is the first thing that I want to allude to today. Another negative affect is disappointment, and we often feel this when we have put our faith and trust into something that isn't quite right for us. It isn't a good fit. Another one is regret, when we are sorry about what we have done, the path we have chosen, etc. And regret tends to emerge more and more as we age. At my age, I've encountered a lot of regret, but it has given me messages about which paths to choose going forward. And then, of course, there is good old-fashioned shame, which is definitely an indication for us that something has gone wrong, we have chosen the wrong path, and the key to getting rid of shame, of letting it go, releasing it, is to understand where you went wrong and to embrace the feeling and to forgive yourself and move on. So there's a little bit about the kinds of things that I'm talking about when I refer to negative affect. And you might think of more, certainly post them in the comments if you want to discuss further. Now, I can't stress enough the importance of being willing to take on negative affect when it comes your way. And I'm not talking about letting it bury you. Certainly if the discomfort level is too high, then you need to seek help of some sort, whether it is medication or some sort of talk therapy or a family support system, friend support system, whatever it is that you need. But being able to face negative affect really is a way of regaining emotional centeredness or maintaining equilibrium, as Piaget called it, or homeostasis, as Cannon called it. Let's just call it a sense of calm. So sometimes things are coming at you, and sometimes they're coming from you, these negative feelings. They might be something aimed at you, or they might be something emerging out of you. So let's talk a little bit about at you. So this might be something like being broken up with, being fired or let go from a job. It might involve being kept on a job but being told that your effort wasn't good enough. And that doesn't always just happen in a job situation. You might need to accept and move on, or argue and make your points, or you might want to disagree and forgive the person who said these things when argument actually isn't possible. So to assess this, we have to be willing to take on the negative affect. None of the above will make us feel good. We know that, but it will happen. We know that too. So we must be willing to feel bad so that we can change and learn from these things. And we'll talk more about that in the end here. So things that are coming from you, this might be breaking it off with a romantic partner, or telling a friend that, I'm not going to go, I'm not going to hang out with you anymore, whatever. Quitting a job, or some other sort of commitment relationship. And certainly these are not easy things to do. As many clients as I have who feel that it's difficult to get over having received negative affect, there are at least as many, probably close to twice as many clients who are trying to get their minds around how to actually put out the negative affect, how to break up, how to change their friend group, or how to leave a job. So the ability, let's call it a superpower, to accept negative affect, to accept sadness, disappointment, regret, shame, is actually the shield that protects you through these times, whether it's coming at you or coming from you. That ability is the thing that keeps you centered through those times so that you can regain equilibrium. So learning from what life throws at you is another plus to being willing to accept negative affect. When these things happen, everything that I've mentioned above and whatever else you can think of, and please do comment in the comments section, let's talk about what's going on in your life. When these things do happen, we can choose to either deny their power over us, or we can choose to learn from them. And we definitely cannot learn when we don't accept the negative affect, because we'll be in denial instead. Sometimes you have to be sad to be better, stronger, more stable, and to change, because learning is change. We don't learn and stay the same. Learning is the willingness to change. That is what it is, which requires the willingness to be sad about our earlier choices and what we'll lose now that we know better. And then the last thing I want to talk about in regard to accepting negative affect is the importance it bears on intuition. In addition to managing negative affect when life comes at you and comes from you, there is that bad feeling that we get when our intuition is telling us that something isn't right, whether we're about to step in that river or we have stepped in it and it doesn't feel secure to us. Our intuition often speaks to us through bad feeling. If we aren't willing to accept negative affect, we risk sweeping this under the carpet of our subconscious and investing instead in a fantasy of our own undoing. If this resonates with you, the things that we've talked about today, I encourage you to click on the link in the description box. Raising Your Inner Child is both a book, it's a manual, a how-to manual, and it's also an online course, and that link will take you to access to both. I hope this has been helpful. I do look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for my midweek sneak peek as to what we'll be talking about next Sunday. Until then, have a wonderful week.